Okay. Hey everyone, my name is Kristen Luciani. I'm a spicy mafia romance author. I am joined here today with C. Hallman, and we are going to chat with you a little bit about a special new idea that we are going to launch this month. And it's in coordination with several other authors. So basically, we've created a spicy mafia romance spotlight that's going to be shared in all of our newsletters for the next 10 months. And basically, each author is going to be able to highlight one of their spicy mafia romance books. So, this is the first month. This is kind of our launch month, and each author is going to figure out a really great way to give you an inside look of their chosen spicy mafia romance story. And we're going to give you different promotions. We're going to offer different giveaways, special surprises like character art, behind the scenes, deleted scenes and really kind of bring all of the special parts of the book directly to you through our newsletters. So, can you tell us a little bit about the authors?
Yes, so it's me and you. And then we have Jane Henry, Misha Stone, Cora Kenburn, Lucy Monroe, Autumn Archer, Monica Kane, Ariana Fraser, and Jagger Cole. So we have some amazing great authors, a great lineups, and I can't wait for everybody to read the books that we're going to spotlight.
It's going to be really awesome. And so part of each month's spotlight is going to be an interview. So we're going to be interviewing each other and giving you a little glimpse into our writing process and our highlighted book. So right now, Cassie is going to interview me about my chosen book for this month, which is The Mafia Heirs Obsession, and it is book one of my Mafia Obsession series.
We'll get some of these are spicy, so get ready for these.
Okay.
The first question is, what is the craziest or most unhinged, unique thing you have done to research a book?
Okay, so I had mentioned a while back to my husband that I wanted to learn how to fire a gun because I had never actually held a gun, but yet I write mafia romance and there's always someone shooting someone, right? So he got me an appointment at a local gun club and I spoke with a trainer and he basically educated me on, gun use and different elements of different guns and when you would use one over another. And then I actually shot a 9mm and a 22. And it was great because previously I had done all of my research on YouTube and Google. And, when you're watching a video and reading an article, it just doesn't give you the same kind of insight to make something really authentic as personal experience, right? So I found that, firing a gun, feeling the recoil, feeling the bullet casing coming back and hitting me on, the neck because I didn't cover up high enough. It made it very real for me, smelling the sulfur, feeling the adrenaline spikes. It was really, really cool. And I was able to write a very spicy gun club scene shortly thereafter, kind of incorporating all of this newfound knowledge and experience. And I also found that I am a pretty good shot. I was able to hit the target and I can be pretty lethal with a gun as it happens. So that was
Well,
pretty cool and unique.
that to your bio at the end of the book.
I know. I'm a great shot, guys, just so you know.
Well, I'm glad you had that experience. That's awesome. So next question is one of the spicy ones. How do you get yourself in the mood to write a sex scene?
So one of the things that I like to do is torment my husband a little bit. He used to do a lot of traveling for work, and so I would send him, you know, ideas for a scene that I had to write, and he would get them while he was on the plane, and he would have downloaded his emails, and then when he got off the plane, he'd be like, "Why would you send me something like that? I can't do anything about it." So then I started sending it to him when he was home. And I was like, well, we need to test out positioning, make sure this is really, accurate and whatnot. It's a little bit different, blah, blah, blah. And so he'd be like, okay, I'm on my way up. So I always found like um that would obviously get me in the mood, but it's fun and it gets you thinking because yeah, I mean, we don't want it to always be vanilla all the time, right? We don't always want it to be missionary, so we have to try all kinds of different things. And actually one thing that I have found um readers really, really like is the incorporation of sex toys in these scenes, right? And I've done that before. And people they always comment about it, they're always, interested to find out, how to use it, what to do, how can enhance the scene and whatever. So I think that that's pretty cool too, and that's definitely a mood enhancer. So
Uh, Another spicy question. Have you ever had your characters live out some of your X-rated fantasies?
yes, yes. So in the book that I'm about to release on January 29th, The Mafia Bodyguard's Possession, so this is a second chance enemies to lovers forced marriage situation. And in the past, these two, anytime they would get together, would just ignite. And it turns out that they have this voyeuristic kink where, they like the idea of being watched. And they also like the danger element, right? So there's a little bit of a danger kink there where, they're in these really, really dangerous situations with, people hunting them and shooting at them and, they're hiding, but yet unable to keep their hands off of themselves, off of each other, and off themselves. And so, I think that that incorporates some X-rated fantasies for me. I mean, especially the voyeuristic one. There are definitely things about that are really enticing, and I may have, engaged in a couple of different things that might have gotten me on YouTube at some point, but whatever, it's unknown and anonymous, so you won't be able to find it. But I think that there's an element of fun there, and these characters obviously don't care that anyone is seeing, and the idea of someone watching and witnessing is just something that gets them off even more. So I think that there is definitely something to be said for that. And those are probably some of my I guess my bigger fantasies.
I love it. Yeah, I definitely put my X-ray fantasies in my books too.
I mean, we have to keep it interesting, right? So.
All right, last question. Before I ask you about the book, have you ever written a character into your books based on somebody in real life?
Yes. So I've definitely named characters who have been involved with the story. I remember I wrote a Russian Bratva novel, and I got ideas from a couple of dads that I was on a field trip with, and I named two characters after them, as a way to like give
Yeah.
back. I wouldn't tell them the name of the book because I was like, you can't read it, but thank you so much for helping. Um, but as far as naming characters after people in real life, yes, way back in the day when I first wrote when I actually wrote my very first book, there was a character in it that I named after a real jerk off boss that I had. And so, I think that that is really the most glaring one because I definitely I don't really have, you know, animosity toward anyone right now
Yeah,
anymore, right? But I definitely did toward him. So I wanted to make sure that he had a character that
I think.
was definitely his. So,
So last question, you talked a little bit already about the upcoming books, but give us a little insight that nobody else knows.
oh my gosh. Well, the voyeurism thing is pretty big. I mean, that's not necessarily something that you go out with marketing, although, maybe it should be. I don't know. But this is the fourth book in the series, The Mafia Bodyguard's Possession. And, the the Mafia Heirs Obsession, the book that kicked things off. Um, so the mafia boss is pierced, right? And that was something really interesting because I'd never written a pierced hero before, right? This was something else. And let me tell you, they loved it on TikTok too. So I can't really say that that's something that nobody knows, but I can say that I love the family that was created for this series. I love the different dynamics between them. Like if you love, that whole family loyalty, family saga, right? So you have Callahan Murphy, who's the ruthless, deadly mafia boss. Then you have his brother Torin, who's like the strategist slash assassin, super dangerous, no nonsense, will call out, any bullshit that he comes across, right? And then you have Seamus, who is the unhinged mafia enforcer with a side of snark. And then you have Declan, who is, the baby of the family, who's always trying to be taken seriously, and kind of fumbles his way along, though he's as ruthless and deadly as his brothers, but he kind of does it, with a side of charisma and, it just gives him, more of a comical, sarcastic edge, which I really, really love. And they all love animals, which I think is interesting because I never wrote animals into my books until I got a puppy back in 2020. So, and this series is full. We have a menagerie, right? So, I think that that's pretty cool. But, they're scorching hot enemies to lovers stories. All of them are forced marriage and they're all really, really dark and super, super kinky and spicy. And I love that. I love that combination, and their significant others, their love interests, slash wives, they are perfect for them. I don't write shrinking violets, so they all are, powerful in their own right. And the men melt for them. They're soft for them, only for them. Um, all of them have touch her and die vibes, just everything you love about a dark mafia romance is what you can expect in the series.
Perfect. So everybody go read it. All four books are going to be out at the end of the month, so you can binge read it. Which,
Right,
yep,
right. And so I'm offering the Mafia Heirs Obsession for 99 cents from January 22nd to January 28th, and then the release of the new book is on January 29th. So hopefully you will check it out and you will fall in love with these brothers just like I have.
all right. Thanks everybody for stopping by and listening to us, and check us out next month with our monthly spotlight.
Okay, take care everyone. Thank you.